Welcome to it. The opening ceremony of the 33rd edition of the Modern Olympics is now just hours away. It's expected to be a spectacular and unprecedented ceremony on the River Seine, the first ever opening ceremony taking place outdoors. In other words, not in a stadium. But earlier today, on a rainy morning, France's rail network was paralyzed by what officials say were acts of sabotage. To find out whether this has dampened the spirits of the thousands of fans expected to watch the ceremony, we now cross live to our reporter in the French capital, and that's Cullen Ross. Welcome, it's great having you on the show.
Well, you said the opening ceremony is going to be outside. This is one of the problems.
Go ahead.
Well, you said the opening ceremony is going to be outside. This is one of the problems with holding such an event in the elements. The problem is that there could well be rain. There is a shower right now. There could be rain during the opening ceremony. It's 4 hours outside. All of the seating is uncovered. This is what the organisers feared, that the elements would play havoc with their plans. Hopefully it can still go ahead as planned. But there's always been these concerns about the quality of the water in the River Seine. That's where the 6 kilometre route is located for the Olympic parade. Each member states, so the South African athletes, for example, will be travelling on a boat down that 6 kilometre route to finish underneath the Eiffel Tower. They are completely exposed to the elements, so hopefully the weather will improve. There's also been another spanner in the works with the arson attacks, the sabotage, the cutting of cables on France's main rail network during the day, impacting 800,000 people trying to leave Paris, and people also coming to Paris to attend the opening ceremony.
Thank you so much, Ross. It looks like that nothing will dampen the spirits of the crowd that's expected. What kind of atmosphere are we expecting? Have you seen the route? Can you give us a sneak peek of what to expect?
We are expecting international superstars from the world of music to be able to take part, potentially Lady Gaga. We know that Snoop Dogg was involved in the torch relay earlier in the north of Paris. Celine Dion, who sings in French and English, she also might well be attending the ceremony. We're likely to see art and dance as well. All of the bridges over the River Seine in the middle of the French capital will either have seating on or space created for showcasing French culture, likely to be spectacular laser and fireworks displays centred on the Eiffel Tower after dark as well. And of course there is the lighting of the Olympic cauldron, and once it is lit with the Olympic flame, it will stay lit for the duration of the games.
So has there been any, potentially significant changes to the programme based on account of the weather, or must the show go on?
The show must go on. They haven't been able to rehearse the opening ceremony in its entirety. This is something that's easier to achieve in a stadium. You can rehearse parts of it inside dance halls and leisure centres and schools, for example. How do you rehearse for a 6 kilometre route that is entirely on the river in the middle of one of the world's most famous and busy city centres? You cannot rehearse for it, so you just have to go for it. They have rehearsed parts of it. For example, the music and dance can be practiced beforehand, but the actual flotilla of boats, 90 boats carrying thousands of athletes, that cannot be rehearsed, and so they are going to have to ensure that their plans can be followed as much as possible and dependent on the weather.
It feels like a weather report coming out from Paris. And with the forecast, is there any chance of the weather letting up?
There is a chance. One thing they had hoped for would be one of these glorious Parisian sunsets where the sun sets just behind the Eiffel Tower, and that was meant to happen 1 hour before the end of the opening ceremony, casting a beautiful golden light over the City of Light. However, at the moment, what we have over the City of Light is a big rain cloud, and so that is also going to be worrying for the spectators and the organisers, but they're just going to have to hope that the Olympic spirit will carry it through and that it can happen safely and spectacularly.
And those words pretty much sum up what we're hoping to expect when we bring you live footage from the Paris Olympic Games opening ceremony. As you can see, the razzmatazz is going to be on full display, whether or not the rain likes it.